right, welcome to another edition of I Guess I'll Do It with Pat House. We took a little bit of a hiatus there, but we are back, and I am super excited to have my first guest back with me in a long time, the one, the only, Chris Porter. What's up, dude?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. You are in Tacoma, which is one of my favorite clubs, and also, are you in the Murano right now?
I'm in the Murano.
That
Hell
is one
yeah,
of
you
my favorite hotels.
gotta love a hotel that's named after a Nissan. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Can you see Mount Rainier? Are you facing the mountain or are you facing the bullshit side?
I'm the I got the river, the sound. I got the sound, but Rainier's
Oh,
over there.
man.
Rainier's behind me to the
Oh,
right.
you're on the other side.
I'm on it. But to be fair, it's pretty cloudy, so you can only see like a third of Rainier.
Yeah, I've been in that hotel a bunch of times, and it's like not even 50-50. It's like 90-10, whether you're going to see it or not.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful city. I'm
How was
having fun.
Dude, I love Tacoma, man, because that whole entire area. Well, first of all, like I said, I love that hotel. I love the club. And that whole area is just walkable. Like the downtown area is a block or two over, and there's tons of bars and restaurants and little cool indie shops. There's a lot of shit going on over there. That whole, like, 5 or 6 block stretch kills the whole entire weekend.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. You're right. It's nice when things are all close. I hate it when, like last week, I was in West Nyack, which is a great club and a great staff, but the hotel's nice. It's just like on the side of a highway. There's a Dunkin' you can walk to, but it's precarious. You know,
Yes.
anytime you have to walk under a bridge or cross a state highway, it's a tough go. But yeah,
That's
it's nice when
every
you're
show in
downtown.
Texas.
Yeah, 1,000. No, in Texas,
Every show in Texas, it's like, man, I'm starving, and there's an Applebee's right there, but I have to go under the underpass and then hop a highway divider just to get there, but it's literally 100 feet away.
yeah, I remember San Antonio was like that. You were just like, it's across the street, but I don't know if I'm going to make
That's literally every show in Texas. Dude, so I want to bring up something. This is kind of a crazy coincidence. You are from Kansas.
it.
My grandfather is from Kansas, Leavenworth.
Okay.
I've been.
Yeah, home of Melissa Etheridge. Go ahead.
Yes. Jerked off a lot that week that I went to visit there. Like record numbers.
Okay. Just because of the Melissa Etheridge stuff?
No, irrelevant. I was 13, and I was the only person in the house under the age of 75, which also irrelevant, but true. But I was in Leavenworth, Kansas, and I saw Stephen Wright on David Letterman, and that's what fucking blew my mind and opened my mind up to stand up. So it was literally Leavenworth, Kansas. I was watching David Letterman, and Stephen Wright was on, and it was the first time I saw stand up and comprehended it, laughed out loud, and went, holy fucking shit, this rules. And that moment for me happened in Kansas.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if there's anything you do in Kansas, it's look for something else to do.
Yeah. Wait for all the old people to go to bed so you can watch comedy. That's what I did every single night.
Very cool. Yeah, man, Leavenworth's tough. It's a prison and an army base, and that's about it.
Yep.
And a McDonald's.
And I believe the T-shirt I bought had both of those facts on it. I think I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, they had some pretty heavy hitters there for a while. I think John Gotti was in there. There were some pretty big dudes in that prison.
That's a very notable prison, right? Like that's like one of the it's no Alcatraz, but it's up there on the maximum penitentiary notable names.
Yeah, it's definitely not. That's for sure.
Yeah. Was your first set in Kansas? Or did you move for comedy?
Technically, Missouri, if you want to be super specific about it. So I grew up in Kansas City, which is a city divided by a state line.
Yes.
And there's not, a lot of people think it's like Fort Worth and there's space between. And it's not. It's just one city. We have a road called State Line Road, and on one side's Missouri, on one side's Kansas, and you go back and forth pretty, you know, without question, you know. So pretty much, a lot of people live on the Kansas side and then work or do all the fun stuff to do is on the Missouri side, like Chief Stadium, Royals, all the bar districts are all in Missouri, mainly because the state laws are a lot cooler over there. But
Okay.
so yeah, so technically, while I was still living in Kansas, my first set was in Westport at the Stanford. So.
Nice. Now, were you in the stand up when you were younger? Like, what was the catalyst that got you from liking stand up, or like what got you to just get on stage and actually do it?
So yeah, I loved stand up as a kid. You know, I grew up in the, you know, when during the stand up boom of the '80s. So you know, it was on all the time, almost to the point where that's what killed comedy in the '80s. But you know, you could watch Evening at the, you know, especially at the beginning of Evening at the Improv when it was Jeff Foxworthy and Richard Jeni and Jerry Seinfeld and like all these legends kind of on repeat, and then. You know, I love stand up. And then, you know, Comedy Central came around and you got, you know, all, you know, the A list and the Laugh Factory had a show. I can't remember what it was called. And, but I, you know, I remember being 14 and driving and visiting LA because my aunt and uncle lived out there for some time
Oh,
and
cool.
driving it. Yeah. And driving past all these places and driving down Sunset Boulevard and being like, wow, okay, there's that and that. And also just like, oh, wow, these places are super tiny. They look so big on the television, like Grauman's Chinese Theater. Like you think it's like an arena, and then you drive by it. It's like it's in a
Very
strip mall,
tiny.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but as a, you know, you grew up in Kansas. You know, becoming a stand-up comic, and I've said this before, was like becoming a NASCAR driver. It's like what's day one of that? Like, how do I go to a go-kart track and just start owning people? Like, I didn't know I'd. So yeah, I had no idea or how to get into it. And then one day, I was 19. I was going to the University of Kansas and not super happy about it. I'm
I was
I'm
19 as
getting
well when I started. Same exact age.
so yeah. So my buddy called. I was going to KU, and he was like, I was watching a movie about stand-up comedy last night, and he was one of those dudes would just. Dude, I remember he watched Swingers when we were in high school, and the next day he was wearing zoot suits, and all of a sudden he knew how to swing dance. And so he sees a stand-up movie. I don't know if it was the King of Comedy or Punchline. You know, it was one of the older ones. You know, none of the new ones. You know, the Kings of Comedy had wouldn't come out for another 4 or 5 years. But so he opens up a phone book because it's 1998, and he opens it to comedy clubs, and there's one in Kansas City called Stanford Sons, and he called him up, and he goes, I want to be a stand-up comic. How do I do it? And they said we have an open mic night on Mondays. So he signed up, and I went down, and I drove down from Lawrence to see him, and we went with like 10 of us. And it just so happened I was the last one of the group to walk in, and they sat us front row, like on one side. So since I was last, I was basically sitting front row center, and I watched
Oh.
I watched an entire open mic night. You know, a heavy one, like 25 comics, and I was like, I'm funnier than half these people.
I
And
understand that mentality.
yeah, I was like, I'm not. I knew right out the gate. I'm like, I'm not funny, you know, because you know these polished traveling comics went up, and you were like, fuck, you know, those dudes were amazing, and you know, then you could see the people that had it that hadn't figured it out yet, and then you just saw the fucking train wrecks, and I was like, you know, I'm not a train wreck. Like a month later, I got the balls to do it, and I didn't miss an open mic night for a year. I don't think. And then the only reason I
Yeah.
missed it was because I got a job and I had to go train to be an expo.
How did that first set go?
So I was telemarketing up in Lawrence for Sprint, and you remember Sprint.
I do.
Uh, this is when it's 1998, so long distance is still a thing and a worry for people. And so I would telemarket long distance at night when I was going to college. And so, I'd ask for time off before, and you'd fill out the form, and no one ever, and then I'd talk to the HR lady before, and I'd be like, oh, I've got that family thing that I told you about. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it was apparent that no matter what you wrote down on the thing, it didn't matter. They were just going to give you the time off. So I asked for the time off and then wrote for a reason. I put, fuck it, doing stand-up comedy. And, well, she looked at that one. So she got like half the people from the office to go.
No
And
shit.
yeah, Sprint didn't sell a lot of long distance that night. And about 20, maybe 15 people showed up for my office. And, when you own 15 people in a 40-person crowd, it's not, they have like a little contest. So I got up there. I don't know how it went. I still don't remember the set. I know I shit 15 times in the hour and a half before I went up. And, and then when I went up there, it was just like this blind fury where I was just trying to remember. And then, obviously there's this energy not prepared for when you get up there, especially when you get a
Yes.
laugh. And so you get excited and you start talking too fast. And then I remember the guy that was hosting the open mic night, this guy named Emery, who I'm still good friends with, who ended up editing The Aristocrats, the movie.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, when I moved to LA, I lived with him for 2 months and they were editing the DVD. And it was so crazy to be in a room. You just be in your living room on your laptop hanging out, and Paul Provenza and Emery are sitting there, and Paul's going, all right, take it from the aborted baby and then come in where they're shitting on her face. And like they have the door open, and like their neighbors are like, what the fuck are they talking about? So
that sounds like Paul Provenza just based off that one sentence alone.
Yeah. So anyway, there was like a audience participation contest, and so I won the night. Whatever, I won. By no means was I. The professionals didn't get in on the contest, but I was by no means the funniest person up there. It's basically like a who brought the most of the audience contest.
Yes.
So I won the contest, and then the prize was you got to perform on Sunday night as a guest spot. And, you think this is like, this place is going to be, it's going to be like the 80s. And so, and it just happened.
You won a contest. Now the shit is coming to you. You're famous. You got crowds. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we are led to believe until you get to the club that night.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, there's a reason they have you do this. It's because there's no audience and they hope you bring it up. And that Sunday just happened to be Father's Day. And so, like, I'm literally we have this big Father's Day celebration. I'm telling all my relatives, I'm doing stand-up comedy now. I won a contest, first time out the gate. It's going pretty well. And so, like, 8 of my aunt and uncles say, fuck it, and decide to come down that night and watch me. And I remember I was opening for I get there and I'm opening for the Amazing Wid or the Incredible Wid.
Legendary.
And who I'd seen many.
This is on my notes, so you tell your story, and I'm going to backtrack for you.
Okay, so I'd seen him so many times; he'll make me laugh. So I'm genuinely kind of like excited for this dude, and I go up on it's basically uncles and fucking 8 other people, and I go up there and eat a giant dick for about 4 minutes. And to the point where a lot of those folks
4
didn't
minutes,
come.
even better, even better.
Yeah. And to the point, like, a lot of those people didn't come see me for a year. And we're quite impressed that I was making a living at it. And so, yeah, and that was so funny. And then I watched The Amazing Wid, who's hilarious. And then cut to 23 years later, I'm working the Philadelphia Punchline, and he's doing like a gig out front because he lives in Philly. And
Yeah.
I walk up to him and I tell him the whole story, and of course he doesn't remember it, nor should he. But yeah, it was just like this weird turn that my life took, where I'm like, oh shit, I literally hadn't seen him since that night.
That's crazy. Okay, so every time I do a podcast, I do a little bit of research. I mean, I know we've worked together a handful of times, but I still look through like my guest's website, a couple YouTube clips and like their Instagram and stuff. So I was on your Instagram yesterday and saw the photo of you and the Wid, and I was like, no shit. Because I've known him for 20 years, because my very first open mic, the very first time I did stand-up, he's the one who brought me to the stage.
I'm sorry, he what?
Wid is the very first comic to bring me to the stage. My very first open mic, he was the MC.
He was the host.
So the very first time I did it, he brought me to the stage, and I've known him for almost 20 years. And he is one of my favorite comics on the planet. Everybody in Philly worships him. He is on a different level. He's a different kind of comic, obviously, but his mind just works so differently from everybody else's. And he's so fucking funny, and he's super, super fucking intelligent. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. He's one of those dudes that he should be in Vegas with a show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to have him on my podcast, but he doesn't fuck with online stuff, so I have to do it in person. But he's on my list to get on as soon as possible because he has a crazy life story too. But he basically mentored Carrot Top.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he definitely did. I mean, Carrot Top invents his own props, but Wid just finds random shit and makes it hilarious. But Wid still calls him Scott. I talked to Scott the other day. It makes me laugh every single time. They still keep in touch, and Carrot Top says he owes so much to the Wid.
Dude, the Wid. I just remember on Make Me Laugh, he had a step ladder, and he just kept saying step, no step. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving the bit justice, but I remember watching that over and over again. I just laughed my ass off.
Dude, of course. And you know what? I mean, we're talking about a prop comic here, so we really can't do it justice in the first place. But I will say this. When Wid is done his set, the stage is a disaster. There is shit everywhere. But one of my favorite things is to help him clean up and be like, hey, Wid, what do you do with this? And then I'll hold up like a stuffed parrot, and he'll rattle off 30 fucking one-liners. Or
really?
Puns. It's in helping him clean up, he does a whole different fucking hour. It's the coolest shit on the planet.
The B-sides.
Absolutely, dude, exactly. You could hold up like a piece of PVC pipe, just white PVC pipe. You're like, what do you do with this? 12 puns right off the top of his head. And he's like, oh, I haven't even touched that in 12 years. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, he's the best. You told me a funny story a few weeks ago when I think you told me in Philly. We were in Buffalo and Philly recently. I think you told me in Philly. You got heckled by Chevy Chase?
I didn't. I was in the room when he heckled somebody else while I was in the room.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were on stage.
I ended up having a conversation with No, Jack Knight was on stage. I was going up next. And they walked Chevy in. Chevy can't walk real well sometimes. And so they kind of walk him in and they sit him down, and he's not being super discreet. And he can't, they're having to like sit him down in this chair. And he's like, I can't find the chair. I can't find the chair. Where is it? I can't find the chair. Just being super loud about it. And Jack Knight's on stage. He knows what's going on. He knows. So he just lets it go. And then Chevy gets sat down and everything's going well, and Jack's doing good. And Jack tells a joke and he gets some laughs and he lets the laughs die down. And then Chevy just yells out, "Chevy Chase!" And fucking the audience just looks around like, what? And Jack's kind of certain. He goes, "Well, that's Chevy Chase who just said that, so I don't really know how to respond." And
That's
and
so
then
funny. Just as is, just even addressing it is so funny.
oh yeah, just to call himself out. And then I go on stage and I do the set. And when I walk off, he's gone, but he's standing outside. And I walk out and I walk by him. He goes, "Hey man, you're really funny." And it just stopped me. And like I had to have like that moment where like, don't cry in front of him. Like that's huge. And I'm like, well, man, fucking Fletch and Caddyshack are two of my most favorite movies of all time. And I go, and Christmas Vacation. He goes, "Yeah, man, they're mine too." And then we just sat and talked about comedy for like 5 minutes.
Oh,
And it
that's
was
so
like
awesome.
the greatest. Yeah. Which was hilarious because he'd been there for a while. Earlier in the night when I showed up, like me and these comics are talking and he's sitting, outside like 8 feet away from us. And I realized at one point that there's like 8 comics that are pretty well known that are just staring at this dude. Like, we're just
because
completely amazed that he's even in the room.
Yeah, naturally so. You're like, holy shit, he's right there. Like, there's still a level of starstruckness that we still get when certain people are around.
Yeah. Like, if Mel Brooks showed up to the Comedy Store one night, I don't know what the fuck I'd do.
I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah. And Chevy's definitely on that list. And also guys that you don't think you're going to see walking into the Comedy Store. But luckily his daughter works there now, so now he hangs out there quite a bit.
That's pretty cool. So he's there on a regular basis?
I mean, he was for a hot minute. I haven't seen him lately, but of course I'm not there a lot. But also when he's there, a lot of people post photos. But yeah, no.
Does he take the time to?
Does he take the time?
Is he cool doing that with the comics, or is he annoyed by it?
Yeah, like we were sitting there talking, and then I just can I be a dick and ask for a photo? And he's like, "Yeah, man, let's go." So he seemed cool.
Oh, very cool.
I also think it helps. It helps his daughter's there. I think she kind of keeps him in check, and I think if he's kind of a dick, she's like, "Hey, don't do that." So
okay, cool. Yeah, I remember seeing that photo of you on your Instagram, and another photo I saw on your Instagram was you and Mitch from way back when.
Yeah, that's probably from maybe 01, 02.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a good Mitch story? I saw him live 3 or 4 times, and I met him once, and he was so fucking cool. I was brand new when I met him. Like, I was literally a month into doing stand-up when I met him. But he was super cool. Mike Birbiglia introduced us, and Mike plugged me like I was a comic, too. Like, I mean, I'm like a month in. I've been on stage 3 times, maybe like 5. And Mike's like, "Yeah, is this a comic, Pat?" I'm like, "Oh, my God, thank you, but that's a fucking stretch." So Mike introduced me and Mitch, but Mitch was super cool, man. Very cool. You got any good Mitch tales?
Mitch and I opened for Mitch at Uncle Funny's. That's where we met. I ended with his stuff, which was probably a good thing. Dude, I think if I would have listened to his record before, I probably would have been a little starstruck and he would have been a little weirded. But he was super cool, and we became friends. And then I'd been trying to get into the Stardome for a while. And he brought
Stardome
me
in Birmingham, right?
Yeah. And so he brings me into feature. And, I mean, it's, the early 2000s. Life's pretty insane. Well, I just remember being outside and, I used to come out on stage and go, something about I need pot or Xanax, if you got it. I mean, I made a joke about it in some facet, but it was basically me asking for drugs. And then Mitch would come out and be like, I'd like to add cocaine to Chris Porter's drug shopping list.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
And so one of those nights, we've been drinking pretty heavy, and he and so in the audience, it was like a late show. And he goes out there and he starts doing his new hour, and people are just screaming for new bits or old bits. Sorry. They're just, you know how Mitch shows where they would just yell out, "That tree's far away."
Mm-hmm.
And so at the start of, I don't know if it's still there, but back in the day, there was like a 2-step riser in the back of the stage. And Mitch at first just sits down and starts, Mitch, if you could just yell out the bits and he would do them verbatim exactly how you heard them on the record. There was no laziness to it at all. And so by 10 minutes in, Mitch is literally laying down on this riser and fucking destroying. Oh. He literally destroyed for an hour laying down on his back. And then
that's awesome.
That was the show, man. He just did like an hour of great hits and then got up, walked off. The audience thought it was the greatest show ever. And meanwhile, I'm upstage going, that motherfucker just got a standing O laying down.
For laying down. Yeah. The last time I saw Mitch live, he laid down on stage. He was basically like in almost like a snow angel kind of position.
Yeah.
Like starfished out.
He was a brilliant man. I mean, he had his demons, obviously, but fucking, I don't know.
Oh, dude, so far
I don't know. There was a much funnier person in.
Dude, I mean, I still laugh out loud when I listen to his albums. I mean, all three are great, but Mitch altogether, his second one, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. And I love on his first album, Strategic Girl Locations, when he has the bass player, and he goes, when the jokes go down, the bass goes up. That makes me laugh every time still.
I love it. If you see the raw footage of his Comedy Central Presents, which is out on the YouTubes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's for a comic, it's good to watch your hero struggle a little bit and realize that it happens to everybody,
even during a TV taping.
In the mid times. Yep. Man, it also shows you what you can do. Because I remember I watched Mitch Hedberg. The first time I saw him was on Comedy Central Presents. And you could tell he wasn't doing well. But I'm also watching like, this guy's fucking brilliant. And this audience is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And my dad didn't get him forever. And then finally called me one day and he was like, okay, I get it. He's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's really funny. But didn't he
is a lot like a. What's that?
Didn't he win them back that night? Like, isn't there extra footage to his presents where, like, he crushes? It just takes him a long time to get there. But what Comedy Central aired was kind of like just the shitty parts. Right?
I mean, I'd have to.
Am I making that up?
Go back and watch the special again. It's been a long, but I don't know. I remember watching it and going, yeah, he's not doing that well, but he's super fucking funny. And I knew that when I saw Mitch. When you saw Dane's Premium Blend, that first one, the first time
we were introduced, he's wearing a fucking tank top.
Yeah, you're like, this guy's going to be fucking huge. You knew that from the beginning. Yeah, it's every once in a while you see dudes like that, man.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And what's crazy to me is like I saw Mitch the last time I saw him, he was headlining. Stephen Lynch opened, but the first time I saw Mitch was crazy. Birbiglia hosted, Mitch was the middle, and Lewis Black and Dave Attell co-headlined. So to this day, I still beat off to that lineup. I mean, I really do.
I got to host that in Kansas City.
Oh, Comedy Central Live.
Yeah, the Mitch Hedberg. Yeah, I remember I showed up at for like sound check because I was just so excited and I just sat in a fucking 3 hours.
Dude, I would have done the exact same thing because I hosted a show one time. It was Birbiglia, Bill Burr, and Greg Giraldo, and I was there hours ahead of time.
Yeah,
Hours ahead of time.
you're like the sheet said be here at 5.
So I got here at noon. So do you have a cool? So tell me about that night then, because that show, when I saw the Hedberg Black Attell show, for me that was the catalyst. I sat in the front row of the balcony, and that was the night where I said to myself, I have to try stand up. I just have to try it.
Yeah.
It was literally that fucking night I saw that show and was like, you're trying this. And then I did, and then I have not stopped. So that was the literally turning point of my entire fucking life. It's awesome that you hosted that in Kansas City. So what do you remember from that night?
I remember being super intimidated, like after my set, like just being super intimidated and not wanting to do time in between the other comics.
Oh God, yes.
And so I didn't.
Oh,
so
dude, especially.
I would literally look at them and be like, "I'm bringing you right up," and Dave's like, "No, do some anytime. I'm just gonna bring you right up." And which, in retrospect, was unprofessional. I should have done some time just to give the audience time to fucking. Like sometimes as a host, it's kind of your job to go eat a couple of dicks.
Yup.
But I just remember Mitch went home and Dave and Lewis went out and got fucking shit-faced hammered.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which I had, because I had worked with Dave and Lewis before, so in the clubs. So we all had already had relationships, so it was pretty easy just to hit the club. We just went to all these bars and just got, and this was the middle of Insomniac, and fucking Daily Show. So we walked into every bar.
Back in Black.
And we were just,
that's awesome.
We'd walk in and just be rock stars. So yeah, I think we're just lucky we didn't end up in jail that night.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah, that show was monumental for me. Like that night I saw that show.
And that was, I mean, like they don't have lineups like that anymore. That just because, comedy wasn't as big as it is now. So like it took two people like Dave Attell and Lewis Black to fill a 3,000 seat theater. And now, because of the internet and everything else, it's like, Bert and Kevin Hart are filling arenas.
It's crazy. I mean, Kevin Hart, I'm from Philly, so is Kev. Kevin did a few years ago, did Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play. It's a 55,000 seater.
Yeah.
Outdoors.
And I mean, you can't help but listen, I worked with Kevin again way back in the day when I was featuring, and no one knew who the fuck Kevin Hart was. And he was one of those dudes. Because I remember I was like the cocky feature that I would walk in, and I wasn't cocky and like I had an attitude, but I'd walk in and be like, "Go have a great set, and you're gonna have following this." And that's kind of like in my head. I came in with that attitude, and from show one, I remember walking off stage and be like, "Hey man, great set," and then he walk on stage and just fucking beat Kevin Hart,
rip it a whole new level.
And you're just like, "Oh, okay, well then, awesome."
Yeah. And now fucking stadiums.
Yeah, and God,
literally.
When you take that kind of talent and that kind of work ethic, that's where you get.
You put something on your Instagram, which I totally relate to. You said you posted a picture of you playing guitar, and you said, "I'm rarely happier than when I'm playing live music." And dude, I totally relate to that. How long have you been playing guitar?
Since I've been doing comedy, so 20 some years.
Oh, that's it? You're like a novice.
I played drums as a kid, and you can't take drums with you on the road. Hotels get real mad about that.
So my buddy, who you also know, Jill Maragos, is a drummer, and she brings a practice pad on the road with her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
I've done that as well.
I used to take my guitar with me out on the road. It's not as good for the guitar.
It's not. I brought my guitar too, but it has to be a road gig where I'm driving. I'm not going to fly with it. But if I'm in the car for 5 or 6 hours, I'll bring the guitar to a drivable gig.
But now it's to a point now where it's like, especially because I'm only doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, When I do bring the guitar, rarely does it get played, just because
Yeah.
so much things to do. So,
Do you
but yeah, I
have?
love to play, man. There's no better feeling than playing music.
Oh, I agree, man. I agree 100%. I've been in like half-assed been in bands. I was the drummer in two, which I didn't want to be, but I had a drum
Yeah,
set. But guitar's first and foremost. But like every now and then, I jam with some friends, and we used to jam every Sunday for years and years and years, and nothing would fucking beat it. Like I remember being on stage at Helium in Philly on a Sunday and being like, God, I can't wait to get to the bar and jam with my friends afterwards. Like I'm doing fucking stand up for money, but all I want to do is get the fuck out of here and go meet my friends and jam.
yeah,
Like I'm living the dream, but I'm going to have so much more fun playing guitar and dicking around with these guys in 2 more hours from now.
yeah. It's fun when it's like a team effort, and that's something we don't really get to live in as a stand up comic.
No.
But there's pros and cons to that as well. But yeah, man, I love sitting in with bands. I had a cover band for a while in Los Angeles. That was a lot of fun. But when you're the lead singer around, the band kind of illusioned. So yeah, so that ended. But yeah, man, I fucking love playing music, and I wish I could do it more.
It's the best. So when you pick up your guitar at home, what
Mhm.
is the first two or three just riffs that you go to?
So I mean, it just depends on what song I'm learning. I try to learn a new song, and then once that's done, I go on and learn another one. So like lately, it's because I'm trying to learn it, and it's uh, just it doesn't go in like a certain order. Really, it doesn't go verse, chorus. So it's the way to remember the structure is "It Makes No Difference" by the band.
Okay.
And then like if I'm just grabbing a guitar, like I'll probably play the "She Talked to Angels" riff just because it's pretty easy and available, and not in G.
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as you G chord the first one, people are like, "Oh, you don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
you're doing." Yeah. So yeah, those two are just or "Feeling All Right," uh, just like a blues, like a 4 to 7, like that kind of stuff, just to see how the guitar sounds.
Very cool. So you said you were a drummer also?
Yeah, for a long time, for 10 years, I played man, and I loaned it to a friend who let his girlfriend keep it, and I don't know where the fuck it is, but I had a '68 Rogers set that I loved,
Oh.
and I played it all through high school, and it was good. It was someone fucking painted like because it was white, but it was scratched up, and you could see behind the white. It used to be sparkle, and someone painted white over the sparkle, which was a super bummer.
Yeah, really, because
And
the drum set looks good when they sparkle. Like it gives it like
yeah,
yeah, and when like the stage lights hit it, you notice it.
yeah. So, but it was a drum set that was given to me, and so I don't feel real bad about being gone. And I mean, I'd love to find it. But yeah, don't talk to that friend anymore. So that kind of shit happened.
Okay, yeah, I played the drums in high school too. So I had a drum set from like I think 13 to 22, and I was like, I mean, I loved it. I had a lot of fun, but guitar was always like my main go-to. And I remember drumming in like a band or two and just being like, man, I want to fucking play guitar. Like I just want to play guitar because that's still
Yeah,
my go-to to this day.
yeah. Singing's still my favorite.
Nice.
So yeah,
Did you sing when you were younger? Like
yeah. It took me a
choirs
while
or
to get good at it. No, I was always in the band, and band was at the same time as choir, so you kind of had to pick one.
oh, you were in the marching band?
Yeah. Well, a pretty like we had a notable music program, so I mean, it just depended on the season. In fall, we were a marching band, and then come winter, we were a symphonic, and then that was about it. And then in the spring,
Okay.
we'd march again. Yeah.
Okay. I know you were talking a few months ago when we were working together. You seen the Stones with Tom Rhodes. Are you Beatles or Stones?
Mm. Um, I mean, I guess Stones right out of the gate. I mean, I don't. I guess I'm one of the few people that can listen. I love them both. You just got to respect kind of. I mean, Rolling Stones are rock and roll and only rock and roll,
Mm-hmm.
and they like it.
I
And
mean, you beat me
the
to it. I was
Beatles do rock at times, but they were. I think to call them a pop band is to diminish it. They were, but they were kind of showed everyone the canvas what it could be.
to go across the board and do a whole bunch of different shit.
Yeah, and get weird with it and then come back. I mean, fucking watching Get Back is like watching the Bible getting written. Like, it's insanity.
You know what? I still haven't seen it yet. It's on my list, but it's on my list. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
do it soon. I just need to allot the time.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things because it's divided into three episodes, and then the episodes are kind of subdivided into days. So there's a lot of good pause points. And the first couple episodes are a little hard to watch. I mean, it wasn't for me just because you're so into the music and into the creation of it. Like, at one point in the first episode, John and George are just talking about their days, and in the back, Paul's trying to figure out "Let It Be," and you're just watching this like what like this happened, and the fact that someone was there to record it is fucking amazing. And then the concert
oh,
at the end, like I cried at the end of the concert just because for years you heard about the concert as their last performance, not
oh
knowing
yeah,
that they
rooftop.
had not knowing they had recorded. At least I didn't know they had recorded it. And so, if you would have asked me before Get Back came out, like you can go to like one of three periods, and what are three events you go back to in time? That was definitely on the list. Like Beatles rooftop concert, I got to see that. I got to be in the street for that. And then
Yeah.
and now you're watching it, and in a really great quality, and it was just kind of amazing.
I got to get on it. I got to get on it. All right, I'm going to let you go here in a second, but I'm going to ask you one more comedy question. Dude, so you're a buddy. We work together, and I'm a fan because I love stand-up. Working with you is great. When did you start to get into, like, longer bits and storytelling? When did you take
I mean, I
that,
don't. It
not
wasn't
leap, but, like,
conscious. It wasn't a conscious
it just came naturally
choice.
more
Yeah,
for you?
I couldn't tell you when it happened. I mean, I'm sure someone who knows a lot more about my anthology than I do could tell you. But I don't. I don't know.
When you first started, were you telling longer pieces, or were you like when you first started, the very very early days, or were
No,
you
I
just
mean,
doing?
no, because it's the way I think most open mics should be run. We were given 3 minutes. You
Yeah,
had to
yep.
earn 5,
Oh, yep,
and so once you show that you could be funny for 3 minutes pretty solidly, then you'd get bumped up to 5. But otherwise, you
yeah.
got 3 minutes, and that kind of molded you into writing 3-minute pieces. And so, early, a lot of my bits weren't longer than a minute and a half or 3 minutes. And then, when obviously when you start doing hours and 45 minutes here and there, you have that time to do a 7-minute piece or a 12-minute piece. But also, like I feel like the piece needs to warrant that time. You're up there. I'm never up there going, I got to write another 7-minute bit. I just write the bit, and if it's that long, it's that long.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give the material the time that it needs, but no more than that.
No, because I'm trying to get into longer pieces as well. The past 3 or 4 years, I've had a lot more. Not even storytelling, but it's like, all right,
Yeah.
if I start this bit, this is going to be the next 7 minutes, and I'm not fucking bailing on it. So like,
Yeah.
if they're not on board, here we fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how you find it. But
No,
I
and
don't.
that's what I love. I love your bit in particular about the. Forgive me, I don't know how you would put it on your set list, but the traveling baseball teams,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was so fun to watch in Buffalo every single night because one, not only is it so fucking funny and the bit crushes, but I love the specificness of the jokes too, where you say like drenched in Under Armour, clutching to their Michelob Ultras, like that shit.
Yeah.
The specifics is what makes it so fucking funny. And also, I think it's funny as a comic for me because you say, because we stay in the same hotels and I see the same shit too. You just fucking nailed it.
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, I wrote that bit just because I hadn't, to be honest with you, I would have never written that bit, except I was just, I hadn't written anything, because, I wrote that right after the pandemic, or at least the heavy part of the quarantine and all that stuff. And I was coming back to all these clubs and I hadn't written anything because not shit had happened to me, and I didn't want to talk about the pandemic ad nauseum because I watched a million other comics do it. So, I just started talking about that. And to be honest, I can't tell that bit in Los Angeles.
Oh, you can't?
No one gets it.
Yeah, I guess not.
Like,
I guess
I tell that bit at the Comedy Store. It is 8 minutes of fucking silence. But it's, it resonates with everywhere else.
That's definitely a road joke, especially referencing hotels and stuff too, because people who are in hotels see those parents. So I totally see what you mean there.
But it works in like it works in the outskirts of Los Angeles. Like it works in Irvine and the suburban where people do that. But I mean, in Los Angeles proper, that's a fucking bubble. People with kids don't leave Los Angeles.
Oh,
to go to fucking Palm Springs.
What are you doing with the rest of your weekend in Tacoma?
So I took a position at a tech startup. So I've got I'm just doing a lot of work on that. So, and then at night, it's already Friday and we're halfway through it. So it's going to be a lot of basketball also in the background. So,
grab food at the Forum.
The TV here doesn't work. So I'm waiting for engineering to come in and fix that. So,
the last time I was there, it was the first time actually, and I'm on the road. I'm in hotels a lot. The last time I was at the Murano back late January was the first time I ever checked into a room and it was fucking dirty. Like it wasn't cleaned. The beds were undone. There was like dirty glassware out. And I love that hotel. I'm not shitting on them. I love that hotel. But I went down to the front desk and there's a dude with dreads. You may have seen him. I went and told him my situation and he was like bothered. And I'm like, dude, the room is fucking filthy. Like this is a legitimate complaint. I'm not here to just annoy you. You sent me to a room. There was like lipstick on the dish glasses still put out.
Yeah. Also, you don't have to clean it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Desk guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck you mad at me for?
Grab food at the Forum or 1111. I love both those spots.
Okay, I'm going to a sandwich place that Google recommended. I'll let you know.
Oh, I wonder if it's 1111. Let me know. I love that place. Good staff there too. Really.
All right, brother. Well, thanks so much for having me.
But dude, thanks again, man. Thank you. I'll see you soon.